Hello everyone, in the previous video we have seen how to create a new debuggy process that we can debug it. Now we are going to write another function that is going to attach to the already existing running process. So we will be using a function called debug active process function to attach to that process using the process ID. So it takes the process ID as a parameter and it will return a value. If it is 0, then the function has been failed. So here you can see the debugger is granted debugging access to the process as if it is created the process with debug only this process flag. So this is similar to the previous create process function we have written. So let's write another function attached to process, and we'll be passing the PID, and we'll be using the debug active process function. If result is equals to 0, then we can return an error stating that this function has been failed, and we can use get last error function to retrieve the last error. So don't worry, we got the red line error. We will be writing the return value at the end of the function. So if we have successfully attached to the process, the debug event will be generated. So the debug event contains information of what happened and what type of event has been occurred. So we need to catch that using the wait for debug event function. So we will receive the debug event structure, and we need to pass the number of milliseconds we need to wait for the debug event. You can pass infinite value, all f's, to indicate that we need to wait for infinite time for the debug event. So let's write another function that will only handle the debug event, wait for debug event, and returns the debug event structure. So the debug event structure contains the debug event code and the process ID and the thread ID. So in which process and in which thread the debug event has been occurred. And the next member is the union. This is the type of information the debug event has been occurred, whether it is an exception debug or creating the thread, new thread has been created event, and creation of new process event, thread exit, process exit, load error, unload error, etc. So all these are the events that will be occurred in a process, and these are the event code for each of these debug events. We can see the numbers here. So let's go and write a helper function. So wait for debug event, and we can pass the time value here. This is only the user input. The function is expecting time. So we need to create a debug event structure. Debug event, and pass in the pointer to this debug event and the type. We will get a result. If the function fails, return value is 0. If so, we can just copy this block and change this function name to this function name. So otherwise we are going to return the debug event. So the return type could be of result, whether it is a debug event or a string. So we are good to go. Now we can use this wait for debug event. So this all F's indicates that we need to wait for infinitely. Let debug event is equals to, and we can unwrap here. We will have this debug event. Now we can continue this. So continue debug event. So we need to pass the process ID, thread ID, and the continue status. So the continue status debug continue to continue the execution of the process, and debug exception not handled. So when we are doing any exception handling, we can pass exception handled or exception not handled. So we will see those values as well. So let's print that debug event has been generated with debug code debug event code. We can also say inside process ID debug event dot process ID. So after this we need to continue the debug event, but what we can do is we can return this function here. We need to return an object of debugger because we need to further handle the debug events. So our self debugger structure object should have the process information structure. So in this process information we have the process handle, thread handle, process ID, thread ID. We already have the process ID and also the thread ID in the debug event. So the process ID is passed into this function and the thread ID will be retrieved from the debug event. Now we need the process handle and the thread handle. So we can use the open process function. We can say process all access, inherit handle is 0 and the process ID PID at proc handle. So we can do this before calling the debug active process. So this function also does open the process handle. We can actually put it here. If proc handle dot is null, so that means this open process has failed, and we can return open process has been failed string. Otherwise we are good to go. Now we can say open thread all access, and we need to pass in the debug event dot thread ID. So here we can add another check to check whether the thread handle is a null or not. For now we can continue this. So we can return the OK of self. We can make a PI is equals to process information block. pi dot process id is equals to pid pi dot thread id is equals to debug event dot thread id, pi dot process handle is equals to proc handle, and pi dot thread is equals to the thread handle. So now we have generated the process information structure. We can simply add this to the pi and return this. Here we can say result of type self and string. The self is the debugger structures object. And we can implement a drop function for our structure to close the process handles and the thread handles. So this drop function will execute when our structure object goes out of scope. Since we are using our structure object in the main function, so obviously when the function completes, when the program exits, these functions, the code inside this drop function will get called. So if self dot process information dot h process dot is null, we can say not. If not null, then we can say close handle of process handle. We can do that same for thread handle, h thread. Now we are good to go. So let's comment out this one and say debugger. So attach to the process. What we can do is, I already wrote a process enumeration structure, get process. We can use create to help that use snapshot or entity query system information to retrieve all the process. If p of I dot get process name dot to lowercase is equals to notepad dot exe, then we are going to attach to this process ID, and we will receive a debugger structure object. Let's call this as dbg. So I think we are good to go. We are attaching to the process. So let's run this, and the debug event has been generated with the debug code 3. So the 3 is the debug event code, and it's create process debug event. So it will be generated when we attach to the process, because it uses the create process function to open the process with debug only this process flag. You can see the notepad has been closed because our debugger has been exited. You can see here. Now what we can do is, we can write a simple user input to delay the debugger exit. So enter anything to continue. Oh, there is no notepad process. So now our debugger program has been halted and it is waiting for a user input. Now if I go and click on this notepad, you can see there is nothing happening because the notepad has been attached to our debugger process. It needs to call the function continue debug event to continue the execution. So until then we cannot interact with the debug process. So we will be doing this simple function in the next video. So that's all for this video. In this video we have successfully attached our debugger to the already running process.